Hello everybody, since I am one of the newest members of RedCubed, and since some of you are probably new to the channel, I've decided I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A episode, and instead of caving like most, I'm going to fish. So here are the questions that people asked me on Reddit and Twitter when I asked for questions. If you have any more questions that weren't answered, feel free to put them below and I will save them for another Q&A if there is enough questions, or I'll just answer them if there's only a couple. Hope you guys enjoy. So I'm probably going to fish off mostly off of this corner here because I can actually get a better angle to throw it so my bobber is closer and I can hear it better. And let's just get on with the cat snoring and the questions. So let's see here. First question by Your Favorite Dream. If all of RedCubed were stranded on a deserted island, who would you eat first? Yeah, probably my first gut reaction would be cherry. I like cherries. Cherries are good. And you know, redheads, right? That's always good. Let's see here. Next question. You're on a road trip and can only bring along one album or CD with you to listen to. What do you bring? And no cheating by saying you'll just bring your iPod, iPhone, or whatever device you use with all your music on it. And that was from RainDog85. That's a really hard question. It would have to be something I could listen to repeatedly, obviously. I have a few CDs and a few artists that I kind of default back to. But I don't know what. I'd probably want something I could sing along to. So not something too high pitch or too fast. And I'd probably want something at least a little bit soothing, just in case I get like a headache or something. I'm gonna go with gut reactions on these questions, otherwise I'll be indecisive forever. But let's say Sarah McLachlan. I think Fumbling Towards Ecstasy probably is the CD I'm thinking of. Not sure. I mean, I probably haven't listened to it actively in ages, but it's one of those CDs where I know all of the songs by heart, and it's familiar, it's comfortable, it's relatively relaxing, I can sing along to it. It would probably get annoying after a while, but so would any CD, even if it was like my favorite CD in like the whole world. I haven't actually like really actively listened to music in a while. And even when I do lately, it's a little bit more like chiptune, or electro house, stuff like that, which is easier to kind of pass the time, but also kind of can be like headache causing and stuff like that over a long period of time. Like if you're stuck in a car. And the thing too is, if I'm stuck in a car sometimes, I get really car sick sometimes, and I would not want something that was kind of grating, you know, on my brain. So that's my answer. Like I say, I'm going to go with gut reactions on these answers. I haven't prepared answers. Getting a lot of fish so far, but that's okay. We're also going to see how many levels. If you didn't notice, I started off with 0 levels. So we're going to see how many levels we can get by the end of this. Next question by Left and Right 404. What is the most pleasant thing you've experienced since starting YouTube? Damn, I missed that fish. Okay, that's the first question. There's 2. Most pleasant thing since since starting YouTube. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good and bad with everything, right? Specifically good. It's hard because a lot of the good stuff, it just makes you feel so warm and fuzzy. I can't really pick just one. I think recently the most pleasant thing that I've experienced is I actually had a friend of mine who's never played Minecraft and like isn't really familiar with it at all, basically. He said that he watched one of my building game episodes and he just loved it and it was the funniest thing ever, and he just thought it was just the greatest thing, basically, and it made me really, really happy. Just knowing that someone who doesn't even know anything about the game, doesn't even really care, like, I mean, he's a friend of mine, but I don't expect him to just like my videos because he's my friend, right? So he actually watched a video, you know, like I gave him my link, but I didn't force him or anything, right? So he actually watched a video of my channel and he actually enjoyed it. And that made me really happy. But I mean, there's a lot of moments like that. One of the biggest things I'm looking forward to for pleasant experiences, one of the things I'm most excited about, is the first time someone actually recognizes me, like, as being a YouTuber, as like a, you know, not particularly a fan, but like as a viewer. Because I've been recognized before, like at like at PAX specifically. When I say my name, I had a couple people recognize the name, but not as a viewer of my channel, just as like they knew me from the internet kind of thing. So, you know, like when I met the Rogue Legacy developers, they, you know, it was funny because it's really loud and there's all these people and you can't really tell what's going on kind of thing, right? And then basically, you know, the one of them comes over and is like, oh, can I, like, do you want to try playing? Can I help you? And I'm like, no, I've played lots. And then I hand over my business card. And of course, on the business card, it says Phedran. And it turns out it wasn't actually one of the two developers I'd really spoken with. It was, I think, their third brother. Because there's the three brothers, and then I think the one brother's girlfriend or wife was there. And so basically, though, he looks at the card and he's just like, Phedran? Oh my god, like, so even he knew me, like, by... Oh my goodness, that is a lot of armor. I'll have to kill you in just a moment. You know, like, even he knew me by, you're very distracting, you know that. Reputation. He knew me by reputation, but not because he was, like, a fan of my work. Well, I mean, he was a fan of my work, but not... It's different, it's different. And the second question that Left and Right 404 asked was, bonus question, taco or sweater vest? And I would have to say taco. I've bought sweater vests before. They never looked that flattering on me. But tacos, I pretty much always enjoy. And I don't know who can not say that. Tacos are pretty much always a good thing. Oh, I said I was going to kill you, didn't I? Are those enchanted pants? I really would like those enchanted pants. Not for me, but for a different project. Oh, almost. Oh, you took my fish! You gotta die now. Come here. Take your beating. Come on now. I wish like early morning and stuff actually gave you better fishing too. That'd be cool. I know it's kind of a short period of time, but... Let's see, did I get his pants? No, no pants. Just 2 meat. Alright, well. I do like that actually rain makes it so that you get better. I think it's a more frequent fish kind of chance, basically. No treasure yet. Alright, next question. And this is from our very own Lorgon111, aka Brian, aka Lorgon111. He says, what is the worst physical pain you've ever experienced? I'm actually really, really lucky. For the most part, I haven't experienced a lot of pain in my life. I've never had, well, I've had stitches once, but that was just in my gums, and that was after having my wisdom teeth removed last year, or the year before. Can't remember now. So I had like 1 or 2 little stitches because I actually had to cut the gum for 1 tooth, but 3 of them were already erupted, so it was okay. But that was the first time I had stitches. I've never broken any bones. I've never had surgery other than like little tooth kind of surgery like that. Probably, well, I mean, overall, I've spent a lot of the last few years in like constant pain, like a lot of it, specifically related to like wisdom teeth, which is kind of, ooh, another good one too though. Oh, I've been in a lot of pain in the last year now that I think about it. Okay, since I've started YouTube, I smashed my middle finger on my left hand, which is the W finger. I got a subungual hematoma, which is blood under the nail, and basically the pressure from that, I took it in to get fixed, basically. I know how they fix it, and I wanted them to fix it, but they wouldn't. And I had to go to 3 doctors before someone was finally like, no, they should have done this 3 days ago. And I'm like, yeah, you're telling me. Like, I know. But basically, there was a whole bunch of pressure under the nail. It really, 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 really hurt. And then even afterwards, I ended up, like I say, losing the nail. And underneath the nail was really sensitive for a really long time. Like, I kept the nail on, but it, like, eventually it grew off. So basically, I'm trying not to go into too much detail on these things. Yeah. So that was really, really painful. I had throat ulcers last year. I had all 4 wisdom teeth removed surgically. Oh, and I had shingles in my eyelid, which that is what I was going to say is probably one of the, between the shingles in the eyelid or the smashed fingernail before it fell off, Those two things are probably one of the most painful things in my life, and they also both limit recording, and both happened while I was doing this YouTube thing. Among other things. There's like I have like a short list of really bad things that have happened to me in the last year or so, and they're all not conducive to recording. Like moving. I think I moved two or three times. I can't remember now. Like in the last year and a half or so. And I was extremely depressed for a lot of it, and a lot of other really stressful, frustrating, hard to cope with kind of stuff like that. So physical pain, probably the shingles in the eye or the subungual hematoma. Not sure though. That's a toss-up. They were both incredibly painful for like days, and then still after that. I mean, I think the subungual hematoma hurt for longer, but man, in your eye, it hurts. Alright, and he actually has a second question, which leads into some of my previous statements, which is, how did you end up in the credits for Rogue Legacy? And that is a story I feel like I've told like a bajillion times, and I always feel bad telling it because I feel like I'm like, I don't know, showing off or something. But I mean, you know, it's one of my small claims to fame right now. So, and I don't think I ever, hey guys, surprise, I don't think I ever announced it on my channel before. I'm not sure. I mean, it's on my Twitter and stuff. It's all over the place, but I don't think I ever really announced it on my channel. I was kind of hoping that I'd be better at the game and that I could just beat it and show you guys the credits organically, which I still plan on doing. I still want to beat the game and see the organically created credits as they roll at the end of the game and see my name. I really want that to happen, so still working towards that. But like basically it came kind of out of nowhere. They posted a trailer on Reddit. It blew up like crazy, and so since then I was like, oh my god, I gotta get in on this game. This looks like so much fun. I want to play this game. And at the time, I was a lot more timid about this kind of stuff, and I was a lot less forward. Now I'm a lot more of the mindset that, like, basically, it can't hurt to ask. That's, like, one of my mantras right now, is it can't hurt to ask. And, like, that the worst that can happen is they can say no. That's not always the worst that can happen, and sometimes it can hurt to ask. But the general gist of things is, if you don't try, the answer will always be no. So when Northern Lion posted his Let's Look At video of it, I was like, oh, that means there are press copies of the game. And, you know, of course, even at the time, I had under 1,000 subscribers. So I knew, I was like, well, I'm a really tiny channel. I am definitely no Northern Lion. They're probably not going to give me a copy, but I really, 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 really want to play this game. So I sent them an email, and I said basically that. I said, like, this, you know, this is my name, this is my channel, I'm interested in covering your game, you know, etc., etc. Gave them all their information. And surprisingly, they said yes. This was actually, I think, the first time I'd ever directly kind of contacted a developer of an indie game. I've done a whole bunch of it since then, but at the time, like, this was incredibly new ground for me. Let's say hey, Patch. This was incredibly new ground for me. This was something I'd never done, and I was really scared, basically. And when they said yes, I was like, what? Are you... Did you look at my channel? Do you know how few subscribers I have? You know, I was really insecure about it, basically. I thought it was like a mistake, but, you know, going for it, I was like, I'm gonna play the heck out of this. So I played the game, and basically in their email they just said, like, you know, you can play it, you can make videos, whatever, but, you know, tell us what you think of the game, or just tell us what you think in general, basically. When I emailed them back, basically I told them the game is amazing, but your press, like, PR relations, your marketing is terrible. And already, actually, at the time, before I sent the email, I'd started tweeting a couple people, and, like, just checking, like, going through Twitter and seeing, like, who had already mentioned Rogue Legacy, who had already shown an interest but hadn't got a copy yet. And I actually got a hold of two reporters, including, like, Ben Kuchera previously from the Penny Arcade Report. He's moved on from that now, and I believe... I can't entirely recall who the other one was, but I got in contact with some reporters already before I sent the email. So when I sent the email to them, I'm like, yep, you know, I think, oh yes, rain. Yes, rain. Oh, not even. Okay. But, you know, I told them, the game's amazing, but your marketing's terrible. And by the way, I've already gotten in contact with these 2 reporters. They would like a copy of the game, please, if you would like to send it to them. And basically that's how it started. That's how it all started. After that, I ended up having over 100 emails back and forth with the developers. And basically the reason they were in PAX Prime as one of the PAX 10 was because I told them, like, okay guys, PAX 10, are you signing up the game for that? And they're like, what's PAX 10? And I'm like, no. Like, PAX 10, the last date to sign up is this day. It's like this many dollars. Do it. I don't even care if we win or not, but like getting it in is really good because, you know, it'll get seen, right, by the committee that's judging it. You know, so there's things like that, basically telling them to put the game in for different awards and different conventions and stuff like that, and getting a hold of reporters and getting it into the hands of certain YouTubers, like, for example, Milby. I got in contact with Milby and was like, hey, do you want a copy of the game? And he said yes. So basically it was just a lot of that. I didn't help make the game great, but I did help people find out about it. So that's why basically by the end of all these emails, this was all done pro bono for free, just out of passion at the time, because, and I even told them that, because originally they were very hesitant to let me do any work like that, just because, not because they didn't want it, they definitely wanted help, but just because they couldn't afford it. And I told them, I was like, I'm going to do it regardless. Do you want me to keep you apprised of what I'm doing? That's basically the difference here. I'm going to keep telling people about the game and sending people your way, but, you know, do you want me to email you about it, is what I'm asking you. So basically I had my sassy pants on that day, and it was amazing, and it all worked out really well for everybody. Well, at least for them, for sure. I mean, it's good for me, but I mean, I don't really... Yeah, anyways. It's good for me, like, in a resume sense, but so far hasn't had any specific direct effect, as far as I understand, other than giving me a reputation, which is good. But, yeah, so basically at the end of all of these emails, and this is going to be a really long episode, I'm sorry. You ask me these questions, I tell stories, I'm sorry. But basically by the end of all of this, Teddy Lee asked me, he's like, well, what is your name? Because I even at that point, he didn't know. What's your name? Because I want to put your name in the credits. And, you know, I was just freaking, I was blown away at that point. I was like, you know, I knew I'd done like so much work and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't know that I was actually going to get my name in the credits at the time. So it really floored me when they actually put my name in the credits. And even afterwards, when it did start launching and when it did start getting like more and more and more and more press, and it got on like more and more and more like watch lists and stuff. And even then, like, that release was last year, like spring, summer. Like when I got into helping them out, it was before they were even greenlit. And then we got greenlit in under 2 months, which at the time was unheard of. And then launched again after that. And then, I mean, even now, I get blown away every day. Every time someone mentions how much they love the game or how excited they are to play it on Vita, or, you know, every top 10 list it gets on. I feel really, really, really proud. Not because I did anything to make the game great, like I say, but just because I'm really happy that I could help those guys out. Because it's not their first game. But it's their first game that's actually gotten them into a position where now they don't have to worry about being able to afford to make their next game. So it makes me really, really... I'm like a proud mom, basically. I'm just really happy. So that's, yeah, that's kind of how I got in the credits. Alright. This might be a two-parter. We will see. On to the next question. Glass Decoy asks, what was your favorite part about Minecon? And then Elemento Steve says, wait, Phedran was at Minecon. I wasn't actually at Minecon, but I did go to PAX, so I'm going to answer for what my favorite thing was at PAX. I really do wish I had gone to Minecon. That would be great. I would have loved to have gone to Minecon, but that was just definitely not in my cards. Because right now I'm unemployed and I live in Canada and things are expensive, including travel and hotels. Travel and hotels to conventions are really, really expensive. So hopefully Minecon is actually somewhere where I can attend in the next year or two. I would love, freaking love to go. Not because of Minecon, because so far, you know, haven't heard the greatest things about the actual convention. Mostly just to go meet people, because it seems like, you know, that's where everybody goes to go meet up and hang out. And that is what I would go for. But so for my favorite part of PAX, oh, let's see. That's really, okay, long story short, catch-all answer for that, meeting people. That would be my favorite part. Same thing, and you know what? That's the thing. There's so much that was at PAX that I probably freaking would have loved doing, but I really didn't do much. The biggest thing that I did, I ended up going to, let's see, for most of the first day I just went to a couple panels, like on PR and marketing and stuff like that, made some connections with people, hopefully, so that I can get some kind of actual paying job doing the kind of thing I did for Rogue Legacy. Which is, of course, hard, being as it's in the US that I was talking with all these people, and I'm Canadian, and that's a roadblock, as always. But the first night, I ended up going... Well, and I still enjoyed all the people that I did get to meet and all that. And the first night, I ended up going to... I got a ticket... Well, I got a couple tickets. I got a ticket to go to the PlayStation... What was it called? PlayStation Arcade. It was a press and developer only party at this bar outside of the actual convention. So the party was like all of these different, well, basically, like I say, it was press and developers. So it was me and a whole bunch of like reporters and developers and people that work at Sony, and it was really great. I didn't get to meet as many people as I would have liked to, and I know there's a bunch of people there that I didn't meet but that I know of already. So that was, you know, like I say, it was a little bit loud. But I got to meet and play games with Northern Lion, J Smith OTI, Kate. I also got to meet Ben Kane, the developer on DLC Quest. I got to meet the 2 developers on Anodyne, and in the future, even the Ocean, or I guess they're working on it now, but it's not released yet. Which was really funny because Northern Lion was trying to introduce them to me, but I had actually just recently Googled my name to see what came up, like my online name. And it came up as the Anodyne press kit was one of the results, and apparently they'd actually linked my Anodyne video, which is quite old now, in the press kit for the game. So I was like, oh my god, and they're like, yeah, oh my god, Phedran, we know you. So that was really cool. And then the next day I ended up talking to and meeting like 60 or 80 indie developers. It was a lot of people. I spent a lot of time talking to developers, and I actually saw Pause in the indie mega booth, but I didn't say anything because I didn't know if that would just be weird. Like, I actually recognized his shorts first. I was like, those shorts, that height, I think I know who that is. And he was checking out Contrast because he thought it looked really cool, which I talked to him about later. But and, you know, like, I got to meet Rami, who is the main dude from Vlambeer, which I freaking love all of their games. And he actually gave me a big hug at one point, and I met Kozilek. I met a lot of really cool people in the indie community and spent a lot of time just chatting with them about, you know, their passion, about their game, and telling them about my passion and what I hoped I could be able to do in the future. So a lot of really positive, good feelings all around, basically. And then even later, basically I managed to catch some tweet. I think it was Pause probably, but I'm really glad I did. And I ended up going to like this little meetup that the Mindcrackers had. And I don't even, basically it was just crazy. I showed up and I didn't know what I was expecting, but I actually got to meet and talk with Jasano, Pause, Good, Seth, Kurt, DesiTM, Vaughn, Lorgon later. I don't know if he was there earlier. Mark IRL later as well. I don't know if he was there earlier. Bunches of people. It was crazy and amazing and awesome. I literally spent hours just standing around talking to people. And then we ended up actually like going and getting dinner. Like 20 of us or something. It was really crazy. And so like I say, just meeting people and talking to them and just having fun. That was my favorite part about PAX. So, and I guess that kind of answers the second question there, which was, did you meet any RedCubed members there besides Vaughn? And yeah, so I met Vaughn, and I met Lorgon. I don't think I met anybody else. I might have, like, they might have been, I know some of them, I think some of the other ones were there, but I didn't meet them. Of course, at the time, I was not aware that I was going to join RedCubed at the time, so, yeah. Alright, only a couple more questions. This may indeed be a two-parter, so we'll see. If this is part 2 of 2, then you know. Alright, so next questions come from Fabe, of course. His first question is, how do you feel about stealing this amazing idea from me? Well, I'm fishing. That's a huge difference. And we're a team, so we should share and share alike. Alright, what do you do when a decent-sized spider found its way into your room? Oh, geez. Okay, decent-sized. Yeah, we don't usually have very large spiders inside the house. If I did see one, I would probably make some sort of squeal noise, and then I would probably move out of the vicinity, or try to find something to capture it. I'm the kind of person that usually tries to capture critters and release them as opposed to kill them. Not because I'm opposed to killing a spider, just because I guess I am opposed. I'm like, well, if I can catch it and let it go. That, or like if it's in the sink, I will put the water on and it will go down that sink and I will have no remorse. That's a completely different situation. It's much easier than just capturing it, but yeah, other than like cockroaches, which I have lived with mostly in Korea, other than cockroaches, I'm pretty okay with just catching and releasing. But I might get my mom to do it if she was home. We'll see. I know, depending on certain people who was in the house with me, they would either squish it or capture it for me, so. Next question is, same by Fabe. What was your favorite game when you were a kid? And he specifies that means until you graduated from school. Well, that still doesn't even specify it, because technically, I mean, I was in high school, I was in college. I would say from like up until high school, I guess, because we didn't have middle school. But I think of kid as like elementary school. It's a hard question too. Favorite. I don't like favorite questions. Narrowing it down to one is always really hard. Favorite. I don't know. Yeah, when I was like a little kid, probably just playing Imaginary with my sister was probably my favorite game. We used to do a lot of that. We had game consoles, but like we didn't actually like playing them most of the time. Usually we would just play and then get stuck or bored or die. Mostly get stuck or die. You know, like Sonic and stuff. We had a Sega Genesis. A lot of dying a lot, you know. A lot of not getting, you know, like Echo the Dolphin. A lot of dying. A lot of not getting very far. A lot of getting frustrated. And I was the kind of kid that I actually spent a lot more time as a child. And as a young adult, as a teenager, stuff like that, preteen. I spent a lot of that time thinking that I was so bad at games that it wasn't worth letting me have a turn. Like, that's how bad I thought I was. That there was no point. I shouldn't even be allowed to play. I should just watch other people play because it was just pointless. That's how bad I was. But the thing is, if I never practiced, how did I expect to get any better, right? Like, I don't know. So basically, I just had really huge self-esteem issues and guilt issues, even as a child. So as a addition to that question, I would say probably my favorite game was to watch other people play games. Yeah. So, to add to that, that's really hard. It's a really hard question. Because, you know, I've gone through so many phases, right? Like when I should be fishing too. I'm flailing with my hands, which is what's making it hard to fish. I went through a lot of, when I did eventually start playing games, I went through a lot of different phases. Like there was a huge PC FPS phase I went through when I was like 12 or 13. When we first got a family computer, we did LAN parties and stuff. Like me and my dad, we went to LAN parties, like physical, take your computer to a different place and play with other people that took your computer to a different place, LAN parties. And all we did was FPS, basically, FPS games. And then, like, for a time after that, I got really heavily, like, in early high school, I got really heavily into JRPGs and PlayStation 1, and eventually PlayStation 2, but mostly PlayStation 1 JRPGs. Because I was really into anime at that time, too. And, I mean, I still watch it sometimes, but I was really into it then. And then, I mean, even now, I don't really play any JRPGs or any, like, FPSs or anything like that, so... Favorite game? When I was a kid. Like, and so that's all, like, preteen, early teens, so, I mean, that still counts as kid, I don't know. Really. Favorite game? I didn't have the same kind of, like, retro... You know, a lot of people have, like, those NES games that they, like, love to death. And for me, the games we did have, I didn't really actually enjoy. I just tried to play them. So, I don't really have that kind of retro... Like, I have some retro nostalgia, but it's more of watching other people play. So, I really don't know how to answer that question. If we're gonna go up until, like, 13-ish... Let's go with probably the game I was most passionate about was Tribes. I was really passionate about playing Tribes right around the time we got a PC and we started going to LAN parties and stuff like that. I was super passionate about that game. I loved that game to death. It made me really, really sad when all of the following games in that series were terrible. So... I don't know, I got a lot of good memories from those LAN parties. But what do we got here? I think we got like 3 questions left. So, here we go. One more from another server member. We have a question from Codewing, or just Code. And it says, where do you go to relax and unwind non-computer related? That's a good one. Well, I mean, it changes, right? Like right now I'm back at home. Before I was living in Vancouver. Right now, I have like an ankle injury, heel injury thing that I'm working with, so I can't run. Because that used to be a really big thing for me, especially like late last year, was just going running. Oh my god. Oh no, not late last year, late the year before that. Time has no meaning. And I mix up the last 2 years because there's a whole bunch that happened in it. But probably if I'm going to go somewhere that's not at my computer to relax and unwind, it's probably for a walk. Because going for a walk usually helps me, especially if I'm having some kind of like emotional distress. If I'm feeling like depressed or angry or frustrated. If I go for a walk, even if I can't go for a run, if I go for a walk... Usually that really helps me out. And there's quite a few, like, forest paths near my house. And there's the ocean as well. But forest paths probably are, like, the big one for me. I spend most of my time on the computer, though. So one of the things I will do is, like, just listen to ASMR videos if I need something to help me unwind. Or, like, I'll curl up on my bed and watch, like, streams or play Vita or something like that. Yeah, if I'm going to go somewhere, it's probably going to be a forest path. Go for a walk. If I could go for a run, it would be even better, but I can't do that right now. Alright, and the last question's actually on a different tab. Alright. Last question. Oh no, second to last question. Same person though, 2 questions. Al Valentine asks, is it difficult being super awesome? And I would have to say, I don't know. I don't have any personal experience with it. And the last question is, also, do you record with your cats in the same room? And sadly, not so sadly, yes. I used to really get kind of frustrated and paranoid and annoyed about all that kind of stuff with the dog and the cats. And Like, especially like moving back home and there's 3 cats in the house, 1 dog, every single neighbor in the neighborhood, not even just including the ones like within walking distance, but within sound distance. Every single neighbor around here has at least 1 dog, if not 2 or 3. Sometimes also screaming children, sometimes also tractors. You know, there's horses, there's cows. It's not quiet. It's not a city. Like, I don't have the same kind of noises I used to have. I used to have, like, ambulances and homeless guys. That was my problem. Construction? Yeah. Now, it's dogs and tractors and stuff like that. So, do I record with my cats in the room? Yes. My room is the warmest room in the house, and at least 2, if not 3 of the cats are usually all in my room at the same time because it has all of the snuggly, warm places they like to sleep. In specific, I guess technically 2 of the cats are mine. 1 is my mom's. My mom's cat, if my mom's not home, she really likes to just sleep on my lap or sleep on the back of my computer chair. Or sleep on, if I have a blanket like thrown on the bed, she'll sleep on that because she thinks she's like nesting on something that I'm using. You know, like paperwork. My cat, one of my cats, she's pretty much a hermit. She doesn't usually like being touched that much or petted. But she does have, I have like a cardboard box for her to sleep in with a blankie in it, or like a little towel. And she much prefers like hard surfaces to sleep on rather than soft ones. So this is right up her alley. It's kind of in a hole, kind of in a box with a little blankie, but like hard, dark, safe. She likes that. So sometimes she sleeps in here. But usually she's quiet. My mom's cat, not so much. She likes to squeak. And also if the door is closed for recording, she likes to try and scratch her way in and out of the room, regardless of which side she's on the door of. Wait, regardless of which side of the door she's on. Yes. And then lastly, we have Poir, who was my sister. I know, don't even look at the frames. I can't, there's nothing I can do. I need to finish this. My sister's cat, which I adopted, and he was a runt. He was a runt, and I think he was taken away from his mum too early, so he does like that suckling thing sometimes, where he tries to knead blankets and suckle on them. But he's a gigantic, heavy black cat, but he is the biggest baby and the softest kitty you'll ever know. So he actually has a side table on my left. If you can hear him snoring, I don't know. There's a side table there, and I've got a memory foam pillow, one of those ones for like sleeping on your side. It's got that scoop in the middle, and he's got his own little fuzzy cover, and his little memory foam pillow nest. He lays there like 90% of the time, and the rest of the time he's usually trying to beg if I have food, or like actually like claw it off of my plate, or he'll actually like try to lay on my lap. And since he's so huge, I actually have to back up. Basically, the moral of the story is my cats like to be in the room. And sometimes they want to be vocal as well. Sometimes they want to be pet. Sometimes they want in and out of the room if the door's closed. Just because the door's closed, though. And usually it's closed for recording. So that can get awkward. But yes, I do record with cats in the room sometimes, depending on if they want to be in the room or not. But the big problem is if I do close the door, they're going to want in. So for the most part, I try to have them in at least because they're less likely to want to get out. It's just they always want to be in because the door is closed. I'm in here, the door is closed, there's noise, stuff's happening, it's warm. They want in. But anyways, that was really long. I talked a lot. I hope you guys have enjoyed and maybe learned a thing or two about how weird I am. And that's that for now. If you guys do have any more questions and you want me to do any other kind of AMA, Q&A, FAQ, acronym thing, you know, maybe caving or something like that instead, I didn't get any treasure. Trust me when I say this fishing rod is not a doozy. This fishing rod gets me amazing things. It just didn't on screen, and that sucks because I was hoping I'd get something really amazing. But anyways, if you guys want me to do another kind of question and answer thing or something like that, feel free to As always, leave questions or comments in the comment section, or talk to me on Twitter, or whatever you would like. I am always open to suggestions and questions. I may not always answer them, but you can ask. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you next time.